MEG-01 Block number 2, entering the world of poetry. Imagine that poetry is a huge, beautiful city. Some parts of the city are emotional, some are dramatic, some are musical, and some are grand and heroic. Block number 2 is like a guided tour of the poetic city. In this journey, we will walk through different streets of poetry: the lyric street, the ode street, the sonnet lane, the epic road, the satire place, the ballad score, and more. Each form has its own personality, its own style, its own mood. So today, I'll take you through this entire poetic city like a friend telling a story. Let's begin our trip. Unit number 1, the lyric, the heart of poetry. Our journey begins in a quiet, peaceful corner of the city where you hear a soft musical voice. This is the world of the lyric. A lyric is like a person sitting alone, thinking deeply about life, feelings, love, sadness, joy, all the emotions that makes us human. It feels as if the poet is whispering directly into your ear. Long ago, in ancient Greece, poets used to sing their words with a small instrument called a lyre. That's why the word lyric comes from that instrument. The lyric is short, it is concentrated emotion. It is the moment captured in words. When Wordsworth sees nature and feels peace, that's lyric. When Shelley talks to the vine or Keats listen to the song of the nightingale, that's lyric. Lyric poetry is the world of feelings, and feelings never go out of fashion. Unit number 2, Ode, Elegy, and Sonnet. 3 emotional journeys. Now we move to a part of the city where emotions become stronger and more artistic. This area has 3 beautiful houses side by side: the house of the ode, the house of the elegy, the house of the sonnet. Let's step into each. The house of the ode. The ode is grand. Imagine a poet standing on a hill speaking with great respect and admirations, praising a person, a thing, or even an idea. Sally stands up and speaks to the west wind. Keats talks lovingly to a nightingale. An ode is emotional but formal and majestic. It's like a public speech delivered poetically. Now let's discuss the house of the elegy. Now we walk into a quieter house. The lights are dim, the tone is serious. This is the home of the elegy, the poem of mourning. Whenever someone dies or the poet feels a deep sense of loss, the elegy appears. But elegy is not only sadness, it's reflection. It asks big questions about life and death. Milton mourns his friends in Lycidas. Thomas Gray sits in a graveyard and thinks about human life. Elegy teaches us that poetry is also a space for healing. The house of the sonnet. Next door we enter a room that is tiny but beautifully designed. Exactly 14 lines. No more, no less. The sonnet is like a small art piece. It forces the poet to express deep emotions in a limited space. It feels like a tightly packed gift box inside those 14 lines. You get love, beauty, time, fear, hope, everything. Petrarch shaped the Italian style. Shakespeare creates his own English version. The sonnet teaches discipline, structure, and emotional power. Unit number 3, the epic and mock epic. Epic and mock epic, 2 opposite roads. Now we reach a wide, grand road, the kind of road heroes walk on. The epic road. Imagine a massive story stretching across nations and centuries. Kings, wars, gods, journeys, adventures. The epic world is huge. The Iliad, the Odyssey, Paradise Lost. These are not poems you read in one sitting. They are experiences. Epics are cinema of all times. Large scales, dramatic, full of powerful characters. The mock epic lane. But if you take a small turn from this grand epic road, you will suddenly find a funny satirical version of it. The mock epic takes a silly tiny incident that describes it in a style as if it were an epic. Imagine someone losing a hair clip and the poet describes it as if a huge war happened. That's what Pop did in The Rape of the Lock. Mock epic shows us how poetry can laugh at human behavior. Unit number 4, Allegory, Ballad, and Satire. Poetic storytelling. Now we enter a colorful part of the city full of symbols, songs, and sharp humor. Allegory. The world beneath the words. An allegory is like a story with a secret message hidden inside. On the surface, you read a simple tale, but behind the senses, all characters stand for deeper ideas like good, evil, faith, hope. For example, in The Pilgrim's Progress, the journey is not just a physical journey, it is the journey of the soul. Allegory is poetry that teaches through symbols. Ballad. The signing story. Next is the ballad. the storyteller of all time. Before books existed, people used to sing stories around fires, during travel, or in a village gatherings. Ballads are simple, musical, and dramatic. They talk to love, betrayal, bravery, and tragedy. They move quickly like a song that carries a story in each verse. Satire, the sharp mirror. Finally, we reach the house of satire, a place where poetry becomes a mirror that makes fun of the society. Satire exposes stupidity, corruption, selfishness, but with humor. It teaches by making us laugh at our own mistakes. Jonathan Swift and Alexander Pope mastered this form. Satire is poetry with a purpose to correct society through intelligence and humor. Unit number 5. Now we arrive at the final place in our poetic city, the workshop of the poet. Here the poet collects tools, words, images, emotions, rhythms, symbols. A poet is not just a writer. A poet is a maker, a creator, someone who transforms ordinary life into art. Poets notice detail others ignore. They feel emotions deeply. They reshape reality through imagination. Every form we saw, lyric, ode, sonnet, epic, ballad, comes alive only because the poet breathes life into it. The poet is the heart of poetry. Leaving the poetic city, our tour of the poetic city is complete. Block number 2 shows us that poetry is not just emotion, it is the also structure, craft, technique, and imagination. Different forms give poetry different flavors. Soft and emotional, strong and formal, humor and sharp, musical and dramatic. When you understand these forms, you understand how poetry works from the inside. That's it from it.